tell us something about you that none of the people at this table know. Tell us something that.
I don't know about no.
Well, I know Linda would know most things about you, but just tell us all something that we probably don't know, that none of us probably know about you. And it can be something from your youth, or as an adult, or when Linda's first born, or when you were married to the Lord. Anything, something that you'd just like to tell us.
I went from this little country school. Hortense and I went to school at Flat Rock. That's in Greenville, off Woodruff Road.
Grammar school?
Yeah, that was our first grade. And I did remember my teacher's name, but I can't remember it right now. I think she was a Jones.
Teacher was a Jones.
Right.
Well, you weren't a Jones at
And
that time. You were a Green at that time, right?
Right. So then, later, we moved into near Greenville, South Carolina. My dad moved us there.
Almost some of the time you can look
we
here.
lived near the Gasaway Mansion. If you've ever heard of the Gasaway, you probably have seen it.
I've heard of it.
Mama,
Well, we lived next door to it. And Gertie and I would go up there and carry things that they would buy from my dad. He like
occasionally
eggs
look,
or...
Mama, occasionally look at this.
Oh, I don't want to. I don't like that camera.
But I mean,
take that away.
No, but occasionally look at this area. Just glance.
And so then we went to White Oak. Gertie and I went to White Oak School, which was right at Pelham Road and East North Street.
What grade was that you started?
It was, I don't know the grade. It was grammar school.
Still grammar school?
Yeah. And we'd walk from where we lived near the Gasaway Mansion to that school. And she had a different teacher to what I had. I had May Kay Owens was her name, and Gertie had, I forgot the name of the teacher now. So then, when it came time for me to go to high school, I went in, I went to Greenville schools, went to John Street. I don't know if you've ever heard of John Street or not. Well, it was,
John Street, probably.
I forgot the street it was on. It was
John Street.
John Street.
Was a school named after the street it was on?
I don't know who it was named after.
Was that the high school you mean?
No, this was junior high.
Okay.
I went to junior high. Gertie went to a school in Greenville because she was below me, see. And I forgot the name of the school she went to, but she did go into a Greenville school.
At that time they had 11 grades, didn't they? You
Yeah,
finished high school in 11th grade.
So I went from John Street to Greenville High School. Didn't have a bit of trouble. I would have thought going to a little school out in the country like I did to begin with that I'd have, but I didn't have a bit of trouble.
Well, that's good.
Seemed like they had no troubles at that school. It was the best school, and the superintendent was, what was his name? I didn't know it. I can't even think now. My mind's not so.
Okay, that's all right.
And the school where she went to, Greenville High School, actually became Greenville Junior High School, and that's where I went.
Right. They've torn the school I went to, I think, down now, and built another school where Linda went, off of Augusta, near Augusta.
Well, I think Linda and I have heard this before, but tell us how you got your name, how they named you, gave you your name.
My dad named me. He knew the sheriff of Greenville, South Carolina, Sheriff Cliff Bramlett. He named me after his wife. Her name was Thalia. So that's who I'm named for.
After the sheriff's wife.
There
aren't many Thalias around.
There aren't.
And all of your brothers, and well, you only have one brother and 3 other sisters.
One brother and 3 other sisters.
But none of you had a middle name, did you? He didn't
Not a one.
Not a single child
had a middle name.
had a middle name.
Just one name.
Well, once you get a good name, you don't
And
need
both
anything else.
Both her parents had middle
That's
names.
a strong name. You only need one.
Yeah, my parents did have middle names.
Yeah.
Your parents.
My mom's name was Nellie Irene Vaughn. She was a Vaughn. And my dad's name was General Gordon Green. Now, why they put the general, Oh, no.
Well, I read a story about the history of South Carolina one time,
We don't know.
and there was
his first
there
name?
was a Civil War.
But they called him Gordon.
No, there's a
Oh,
Civil
that's
War
what I
general,
heard.
and his name was General Gordon.
Really? Maybe that's who they
And I
named
read a
him
book
for.
about him, and
I never
it
did.
probably the people that named
Yeah.
General Gordon Green said they probably named him after General Gordon.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
my dad's parents died within 2 hours of each other. The man and the woman, my grandparents,
Did you know that, Linda?
I think I
He
had
died
heard
within
that.
2 hours.
within 2 hours.
Which one died first?
I'm not sure.
My other probably died of a heart
And
attack.
that is
That was Papa's parents.
Parents,
Okay.
right. Mm-hmm. That's right.
Mother, do you remember how Papa would get so upset with the wrestling? He would watch the wrestling on.
like it
And Mike would take him down to Memorial Auditorium,
Right.
and
I remember that.
he would get himself all shook up watching the wrestlers
He did.
and jump up and
Right.
use his walking
He
cane.
just got in there with
Oh yes.
What do you mean?
What do you mean he got in there with it?
What do you mean?
Well, I think I saw him at the
He would be
auditorium.
like
Mama,
he was
Mama,
watching
I mean,
himself.
just demonstrate, like, what, for example, what would he do?
Well, London can tell you more about that than I have. She remembers better.
He would be really screaming at him. Now, I never went in person with him. My cousin would take him, the boy cousin. But when he was at the TV, I mean, he would get right up at the TV. He would get so upset with like Gorgeous George, or and I really felt that he thought they were real. I mean, the fighting was real. It was not a show. Tell, kind of describe what Papa and Mama looked like.
Oh,
Do you remember that? About
Yeah,
what size
in
they
there.
were? Or, yeah, but that doesn't tell us
Yeah,
what
but
size.
give us a description of it. Yeah, how tall were they? And how
Well,
much
Papa
And
was
who
tall.
you look. Yeah.
I forgot how tall. I don't know if I ever knew or not, but I think he was over 6 feet. And Mama was 5 something.
I think she was 5'4".
Yeah.
I believe she was.
Who
But
you
Papa never laid a hand on us, his daughters.
think? He didn't discipline you
He didn't have.
physically?
We didn't. I guess didn't need discipline.
What about Daniel? I thought.
He whipped him one time, and
With-
that was for carrying me to a cave near where we on the
Mama, here.
property we lived on.
Mama.
He must have thought Daniel was up to something,
something.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
but I think he cut the blood out of him, which I can't go on.
What do you mean, cut the blood out of him?
Oh, well, you not using any
What do you mean, cut the blood?
truthful imagination.
What do you mean by that?
Whipped him is on his legs to where the
With
blood.
what, though?
What?
What did he whip him with?
Belt,
I
probably.
think a belt.
Yeah.
Or a hickory, big strong
What
Yeah.
had he done?
Pardon.
Do you remember what he did?
Took her
Took her to the cave.
Oh, took her to a
To a cave
Okay.
that was on the property near where we
She
lived.
said he probably thought
That
he
was
was
right at
upset.
Roper Mountain in Greenville, South Carolina,
Yeah.
where the Science Center is now.
Well,
Yeah.
was the cave? I mean, why was it so dangerous?
Well, I don't know what his thinking was, but he did whip him for carrying me.
I think it'd be dangerous for you to be down in it.
Did
Probably.
you get spankings from your mother?
I'll be in there.
She threatened
Yeah,
I think
a little
spanked me
bit.
one
Yeah.
time because I talked back to it.
I got you.
Taught back.
But I don't think she ever used
You
the
learned
switch.
your lesson.
Yeah.
What, Mama? What?
Neither one of them. But
when-
my dad never threatened us or
He didn't have to.
Mama,
no, he
when you talked back, what did you say? I mean, what do you remember?
I remember. I guess I was arguing with
What-
her, whatever she
well,
was talking to me about.
what'd you say?
I don't know. I was just talking back, and she didn't like that.
Yeah.
Well, Dave, tell us about how you met Lloyd, your husband.
Oh, well,
Will's
I
granddaughter.
worked. I think my first job after I got out of high school was Globe Photo. If you ever heard of that,
I've heard
Okay.
of it.
on Main
On
Street,
Main Street.
right?
Yeah.
Well, I worked there, and one day, Nell Grant, another employee there, after work, we walked up Main Street. I think she was going maybe to a movie, or I might have been going to a movie. I'm not sure. But we that she knew the boy that Lloyd was with, and I guess knew of Lloyd. So we met them on Main Street, not knowing we were going to meet them, but they just happened to be there. So that's how I met Lloyd, and he started calling me and getting a date with me. So that's
Well, Mama, what did the first date consist of? I mean, where'd you guys go?
Oh, I don't remember that.
I mean, you don't even. I mean,
We'd go to movies.
How old were you?
Pardon?
How old were you?
How old? I was in my teens.
well,
Yeah.
how many? I mean,
Well, I'll tell you
No,
about.
I don't know that you. How old were you? You were 23 when you got married.
Yeah, that's right.
So you
How long did y'all
you
date?
must have been maybe 21.
You dated
When
for a
you
long.
met him.
How long did you date him before you got married? After
I
you
think
met him?
less than 2 years.
Could
Okay.
have been
So,
19.
Yeah. But another
well,
thing I want to
think
tell
she got
you,
married when she was 23.
We attended
Okay.
when we lived at the Grassway Mansion,
you lived in a mansion.
near
Oh.
and next door to it.
No,
You,
they
I hate it because you've never seen the Grassway Mansion. It's a beautiful,
Yeah, like a
Like-
it's like a castle.
yeah, it's a mansion. It's what you call a mansion.
And you lived there?
Next door.
Oh,
Next door to the mansion.
So anyway, we went to a revival at East Park Baptist Church where J. Harold Smith was preaching.
Okay.
And
Fort Smith.
I had joined the church, you know, at Roper Mountain. But the preacher never mentioned the thing about coming to know the Lord or anything. He just invited us to
More
come
just
join the
joining.
church. And
Okay.
so J. Harold, I thought he was the best preacher and I still think one of the best preachers I've ever heard. He's gone now. He's dead. He died at, I mean, 90-some odd years old. And Gertie sent me his, I don't know if you remember or not, she sent me his obituary. It was in the paper. But anyway, J. Harold preached. And I walked down the aisle and went to the place where they had people, you know, counseling.
Yeah. Okay.
But nobody spoke to me about anything in that place. My cousin was there, and I don't know if she thought that I was a member of the church already or what she thought, what her thinking was. But nobody mentioned anything to me about coming to know the Lord.
Okay.
So the next day, I got on my knees in my bedroom. That was not too far from the Galway Mansion where we lived. It was not the same house that we did live, but it's another one. So I got on my knees and asked the Lord to come into my heart and
But
save
I
me.
never heard that.
Well, that's the way it was.
Okay.
So
Yeah, so when after you went down front at the altar call, nobody really counseled you or spoke to
That's
you.
right.
But
That's
you felt
true.
the Lord
But you
calling
felt
you.
it.
because
and you
I
went
had
down.
a cousin that was in the counseling room, and I think she probably knew that I was a member of the church, and that's what she was going
She
by.
thought, yes, yeah,
Mhm.
you was a member of the church, but you never accepted the Lord.
I
as
love
your
J.
Savior.
Harold Smith because his preaching brought me to the Lord.
Is he the one from Fort Smith?
Yeah.
Yeah, he
That's what I
preached it
thought.
for
Yeah, we
years.
all went over
When
there
we
to
Right.
the
first
church.
moved
He's
here,
from
she
Greenville.
wanted me to drive
But
her
he
to
was
Fort
born in-
Smith
he had
because she
a-
wanted
he
to
had
see
a
the church where J. Harold Smith
Family.
had been
Family
pastor.
in Fort. He was a pastor
That-
also in Fort Smith.
Oh, yeah.